Houston. Not really a lot. Whoa, that works. Okay. 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 I got the grande sugar cookie latte. And I like the sugar cookie one. I also got like a tall pumpkin spice latte. And like normally I would think this is good, but compared to the grande sugar cookie latte, the pumpkin spice one tastes like if you just took a bite of a Thanksgiving turkey. Like it's fine, but like it tastes like mixed with like a little floor cleaner or something. Not actually, but you know, it kind of gives vibes like that. It's not bad. It's just like if they went really heavy on like nutmeg. Compared to this one, which again, if I didn't know, I would just think it's the same like when I drink it. But it tastes so good. You can taste the sugar cookie. Like it kind of does taste like, it tastes like what you think the milk set out for like Santa Claus tastes like. Honestly, thinking about that whole thing is weird because if you think about it, I feel like people turn it into like some like fetish for like an old man with like a white beard and stuff. Like I feel like people would take it far. Like I think people take it far. And then, but then like with Christmas, it's like, oh, you have like all these different like archetypes. Like I feel like the holiday has this weird thing where like if you can figure out who Santa is to all the people in the room, you can figure out like their archetype and like what they look like and stuff. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It goes far. I don't know why. I don't know. Christmas has its weird, I don't know. I feel like Christmas kind of has weird vibes, but like it kind of has good vibes, you know? Oh, I don't know why I think of weird stuff sometimes. At the middle, like in the middle of like talking, I'll just literally have like the weirdest idea and then I'm like, well now what? I can't say what I was just thinking. That was very weird. Like I don't know. It is what it is. But the sugar cookie one is good, but again, it's very Christmas. Like it's more of like toned down like flavor palette. It's chill. It's chill. It's simple. But again, like it's very like Christmas Day. It's like, are you sure it's Christmas Day right now? This one is like, are you sure it's Thanksgiving right now? So it's kind of confusing because it's like, we only have so many calendar days, and we have to be like, is it Thanksgiving? Is it Christmas? We have to like, is it general fall? It's never general fall. You don't get to do, it's just fall. It's just fall. Like, you don't get to be like, it's just fall. It's just fall. You know? Like, I feel like you don't get to be like, it's just fall. You get to be like, I don't know what you get to be like. It's Halloween. It's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's New Year's. And then that's it, it's Easter. Then it's like 4th of July or something. It gets kind of weird out there. It gets pretty weird out there. I don't know. I don't know what we need. my brain's like, but what if I just invented a new holiday, but then obviously nobody would celebrate it? But it's like, but I'm also a creative person and an artist, so I could just like create my own holiday if I wanted to, and then I could just be the only person who celebrates it, and it could be like a one-time thing. It doesn't have to be like every year. Like, I'm not like, it would be so weird if you created, I don't know, there's different types of personalities, right? I don't see myself as the kind of person who could like create a holiday that's like as intricate as Christmas and then repeat it every year. I would be so fine with doing that as like a one-time thing and taking it like seriously or just as like entertainment for art for like a one-time thing. But I feel like when you like, I can make it into like maybe like a ritual, but it would have to, I don't know. I feel like the more years it repeats, if I created it, it would have like a really like a darker theme. The more it's like a thing that's gonna be like carried out, like, because when I think of so many years, I think of death, because I think of how we have like such a limited time and how every year passes and you just get closer to it for no reason, and you don't really feel like, maybe you don't feel like you accomplished anything. You're just like, damn, like I'm just 1 year closer to having no idea why I was even born in the first place. Like, maybe that's kind of, you know. So if I like created one and just like celebrated it only with myself, it would have like the darkest purpose ever. But then eventually I would just become so normalized to that I wouldn't think of it as anything, that it has like this really dark, like weird, like meaning or anything. Like, I would take it, I don't know what I would take it as. I would take it as like, things can become so normalized to me when it's just myself. And then when I realize the context of, oh, other people exist, then it's like completely different. Anything can be so normalized, and then, oh wait, other people exist. Now I don't know anymore. Now I don't know anymore. Now I don't know. Now I don't know. Now I don't know. But yeah. I could totally create a holiday that other people could enjoy that has nothing to do with death. It would just have to be a one-time thing. Because if it were like a yearly like thing, in my brain, in order to keep the strength to even do this weird ritual with you again, alone or with somebody else, I would literally have to make it as like focused on like literally like death as possible, like as dark as possible, like as serious, not people actually dying, but like, you know what I mean, like in like the mental, like, you know how Christmas has like a theme, but nobody dies, but it's like a theme, you know. But if somebody died, they would die wrapped in wrapping paper on like a conveyor belt somewhere in some castle, like with glitter everywhere. It's like golden, and you know, they're not like expressing like strong emotion, but for some reason they feel a lot of happiness on the inside, and they're just, but they know they're about to die, and they don't want to die, but they feel so fulfilled and they're about to die and they don't know why. Like, I feel like I would kind of like imagine that that's the way somebody would die on Christmas, on a holiday like that, or in the season. Like, they would just feel so fulfilled, but they would be actually about to die. I don't know. Christmas does have a lot of energy, but it has a lot of like, well, you clearly can't be unhappy. Like, you know, I don't know. Even if they're about to die though, they would just be excited. And they'd be like, I don't know what I'm excited for. I don't know. That sounds so weird. It doesn't sound dark though. Yeah, I don't know. What's that, like, that aesthetic, right? Where it's, did I even say that right? But you know, like where there's like, it's kind of like 1800s. It's like very industrial, but there's like gears everywhere. It's very like, you know, when you see those like metal submarines, I don't know. Like, I feel like that could very easily be combined with Christmas, like the traditional Christmas we normally have. I don't know if there's a movie like that, but that would be like actually kind of good and interesting. I feel like there could be worlds like that a lot. Like, I feel like that would be like, maybe on planets like that, how like worlds are celebrating Christmas. The way I said that was trash. I don't know. I don't know. I forgot what those are called though. That aesthetic, or like those worlds, right? Like those planets. There's planets like that, but with that like theme. But again, like I just forgot the name for them. And I started to like know that there's worlds like that with that theme. When I started putting out and working on my second album, like I started to just really like overly like not channel that energy into work, but I started to be able to like see those other worlds. Like I would just have like, I don't know, dude, you know what I mean. My third eye was open to those like pretty much a lot, but it wasn't what my album was about, so I didn't get to use it. But I also didn't really want an album with that theme. I was like, I guess if I ever have to. Sometimes my third eye could be open to like certain planets or types of worlds, but I can't see like a practical use because I'm always trying to tie it back to like magic and an actual practical use, not just like I channeled all this extra energy from another planet. I don't know why, dude, but maybe I'm getting better at that, which is fine. But I'll be like, okay, like I'm channeling energy from this other planet and like I already can like, you know, see the whole planet. I'm like, okay, like what are the vibes? Like I really do the ones that seem very like a dark, disturbing concept, but then once I start to get into them, they like lighten up and I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. It was like my projection onto this type of culture that made it seem so dark and disturbed. But then I get into it and I'm like, oh, it's so normal. Like, I can't believe I saw it that way. You know what I mean? So then I'm like, I'm kind of like cringing at myself. I'm like, wow, like I would really have that opinion of a place that I don't know about and take it like to that level. You know what I mean? But so I would kind of like judge in a way. You know, I have a good imagination, but I also have a really good, like I'm very creative, but I have like a good third eye when it comes to seeing like imagery of like other planets in a very vivid way to where it's like I just stepped into it, you know, eyes open, like I don't have to like close my eyes and like do like a weird meditation to where it looks like I'm faking it. You know what I mean? I don't have to like pull out tarot cards to be like, oh, what do I think happened there? Because I would see that as like cheesy a little bit. Yeah, but no, like eyes open, I can literally like just look at any of the worlds that I've channeled because I'm like, why not? Like, I don't know. If it's necessary, I think, you know, those abilities are cool to have and they're amazing because like, what would I do otherwise? Like, how would I find happiness otherwise? Like, I don't know. It really kind of like, I mean, maybe some people truly, something like Christmas is like an energy they can like feed off of for a long time. Like for me, it wasn't always like that. So I would just see something like Christmas is either feeling pointless or like shallow or empty or something. I would see it as like so sad for no reason. Same thing with Halloween, like all of those, like I literally would just have like the most messed up view of them for no reason. Like it's not like, oh, this caused it. It's like, nope, born that way, apparently. I'm like, damn, like as long as I can remember, like born that way. So that being said, like being able to like channel the other worlds, it really does give me something to like think about because I would be bored. I would have just been bored. So bored that like I don't know how I would have like got through like, you know, I actually would have had to be like a millionaire or some, not a millionaire, like a billionaire. I would have had to constantly have something to do if I wasn't going to be like imagining something because otherwise, like now I don't get bored. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get bored anymore. Like I could sit for 8 hours and do nothing because I have something to do. Just like not something to do. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have to like scroll through TikTok to like have something to do. Anyway, but some people do and that's their thing, you know? I don't know what they're working on if they're doing that, but I like to see it as maybe they're still working on something while they're doing that because I like to like hallucinate that other people are being productive when they're not doing anything. I don't want to see them as people who are not trying as hard as possible, so just endless scrolling is their version of trying as hard as possible, and that should be respected. I actually see it that way, like, I don't know. And I actually got both of these just to drink them. I'm gonna be so hyped up. I don't know. I'm like, damn, is coffee bad for the heart? Because it's like a stimulant, right? But I think coffee is like so low that it's not bad. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like good. It's like if you have a car, right? You have to like start it up once in a while to make sure it's still working if you're not going anywhere. You have to be like, oh, so it didn't like, I think you have to do that. So it's not just sitting there and like doesn't work anymore. Doesn't work anymore. Like, my bad, like it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. At all. I don't know. So, yeah, again, because of magic and because of like a proximity, like practical thinking, strategy. It's funny because you would think, okay, so like you're creative, but you don't have money, so you're just gonna do something creative. You're gonna make sure you have like a third eye, like you can like see all of these other planets. Like I bet you're just gonna like go viral, and like you're a girl, like you're just gonna go viral because apparently there's something where like you just go viral if you're, people say that. People have said that to me. They would be like, yeah, you really don't have to try that hard. Like, it's just gonna like, you're just gonna go viral, which wasn't true. Which means they either said, you're so unattractive that anybody else would have gone viral if they were you. I just can't differentiate, so I'm thinking of you that way. Or they meant to say that they were actually so stupid that they never figured out how energy works, and they decided to use that instead. Yeah, they decided to like just use that instead because getting to know the actual person doesn't matter, or what the energy is doesn't matter apparently, because they're going to reincarnate. And so because if you're using those base level excuses, you are going to reincarnate if you cannot figure out really fast how to stop that. There is no way you're not, because you think that success comes from the actual like way that you look exactly, and like some weird thing, and then that's the only place it comes from. It's like, no wonder your third eye isn't fully open, no offense, but like, it's not, oh, you're a girl, you're a boy, like, whoa, like that means everything, that's the only version of success out there. Like, that doesn't actually, like, does it help people if they use it to their advantage? Sure, and they believe it does, but a lot of the people who believe that that's the main driving factor in their own success are not strong enough to not reincarnate also. So it's kind of, maybe they become that way, but like at some point in time they're not, if they are like grasping onto that. Like they don't have like the most energy outside of that. I don't know. Maybe they do, but it doesn't mean you do. It's like saying all success comes from like only the exact race that you are. Does that help you if you use it to help you? I guess, but that kind of goes some weird dark ways, right? Like maybe they're taking an opportunity from somebody else or something weird, right? But it doesn't mean that they don't get something out of going whatever way, right? But also, you're just probably going to reincarnate if you think only your race was like the factor in whether you were successful or not, because it's not a way to gain energy that much, right? It can't be the only factor. Just like your gender cannot be the only factor. There were other things involved that caused you to either have it or not have it. And it can't only be what you look like or your body or something, because that's too like focused on something like sexual, because anything with the body can be too focused on that. So then you don't have like the actual like next level of energy. I don't know. Really, anything with the body, it kind of is interpreted by the world in a sexual way. It's like, oh, so you're either like deviant in some weird way because you must be into this or that, or oh, like you're so normal that like, you know, it must be the way everybody's gonna go or something. I don't know. I have no idea. but that's the vibe I get, which is why that's not where I really like focus creativity on too much. I mean, that sounds weird, but like I try to like imagine other stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. And like, does that make me seem weird to other people? But with the context of who I would seem weird to, go for it. Like, let me seem weird to you, I guess. If that's how it's gonna be, who am I to stop that? That's your personal situation. If I seem weird to you, it is what it is, you know? It's like, well, who am I to stop that? That's your brain, you know, your brain. But yeah, so I don't know. As far as having a magical purpose for what I would use my third eye to like channel for planets, I don't know, dude. I don't know. When I channel energy for from other planets and stuff, you could have albums or creative projects from different chakras. You could just sit down and be like, okay, like I'm choosing that this project comes from this chakra, and then like that energy is like what it is. It's just gonna be something different. It might not be as good, or it might be better. But then whatever energy that chakra has is like all that the energy you're channeling is also. So you could be like, okay, I'm gonna use, if you really want to go weird with like trying to curse somebody, you'll be like, okay, that person's future timeline, whatever I was gonna see them as in the future, is just gonna be this song that I'm writing or this album that I'm writing. If you actually had to curse somebody, you can mix their essence into it. The only problem though is that you're giving them a lot of energy, so it's like you can't really do it because you'd have to sit in their energy for a very long time, so you don't want to do it if they're so bad. Essentially, you don't want to do it if they're so bad that you would have cursed them if you had good morals. Because it has to be somebody who would be willing to sit in their energy for a very long time. Because it's not going to do anything bad to you. But they just had a weak energy. So really, you shouldn't curse them, but it would work. There's a lot of ways where, like, in my opinion, if you wanted to use, like, art to curse somebody, it would pretty much only work if it's somebody whose energy you're, again, willing to sit with, because it's not going to change you in any way. And they're so weak that you're becoming strong through sitting in their energy. Because you're mastering the energy that they were in. It's really disturbing. You could also use it to fix somebody and help them if you wanted to. If you wanted to, but that's like, I'm gonna dedicate the next, it feels like you're like, okay, I'm gonna dedicate like 3,000 hours of my life to helping this one person. It's almost like, why would you do it? You know what I mean? Like, that sounds, it's just, what I mean is it sounds so dark to be like, why would I help them? What I'm trying to say though, is at the same time, it's like everybody has a busy life and you have to work on yourself. So are you really gonna sit there for 3,000 hours of your life and help somebody if they're not worth it? It's a super disturbing situation to have to ever be in a situation where you have to judge if that person is worth it, because they're probably not, but you're also probably not supposed to find out they're not. But yeah, but maybe they are, and you could have misjudged it, and then, oh, are you at fault for not giving them the help they could have deserved? It's disturbing. So I don't go that way. I don't really go in those ways. Again, if I were cursing somebody who I thought didn't deserve it, I would just end up feeling like guilty for it for no reason, and then I would be like, well, now what? You know, like, so again, like, not feeling guilty for it would be a good thing, but it's like a whole spider web to try to figure out, well, why do it then? Like, it's like, just because magic works doesn't mean that it does the thing that you really needed or wanted. It can take you the wrong way or a weird way, but it can also take you a really good way if you do it the right way and not make it a mess. So yeah, but that's not really what I use it for. I'll be like very specific, like just in my notes app, like typing away. I'm like, okay, so like really fast too. I'm like, I don't even have to read what I wrote because I know it was great. Actually, not for like songs, because like I'll go through and like make sure like Am I sure this part is the chorus? Am I sure this part is the verse? Am I sure this is the bridge? Am I sure this is verse 3 and not verse 1? Am I sure this is the title? Like, does that make sense as a title? Am I sure this is the right album? Am I sure this is the right part of the album? Am I sure I don't need to shorten this title by one word? Am I sure I don't need to add any grammatical details to make it a little better? Title-wise, right? My grammar and writing is good, but like what I meant is what I mean. A lot of the time, like my grammar is just obviously what I meant, but like what I am saying though is also scrolling through titles that are already a part of the same album. Okay, there's no like duplicates, right? Like that stresses me out because sometimes if you're focused on a theme, you could be like, oh, I didn't even realize like I already used something just like that, like in a way that was not intended. You know, you have to like make sure. And then you're like, okay, so if I capitalize every word in this title, because that's just what I'm feeling in the moment, and then I don't do that for the next one, is that gonna look a way that I feel is like appropriate? Like, is that gonna look weird? Is it gonna be good? Am I fine with that? Do I want to capitalize all of the titles in this project? If I start and then change my mind, am I fine with that? Am I fine with like the fact that my future self might not know my current intentions for this work? There is a thing where it's possible to write something down and you find out really quickly the English language is so silly because the energy that you tried to put into the words is really what you're interpreting as language, and there could be like 70,000 things you could have meant by that. You could look at it again and be like, well, suddenly I can't remember like the energy of what this was supposed to mean to me. So you have to try to put as much energy as you can in there so that you don't forget what it means, but by the time, if you're writing it, by the time you sing it, you probably forgot what it means or who it was about, because depends on the kind of mind you have. Maybe some people sit down and they're like, okay, I know that this entire album is about this person, whatever. I have more of like a mind where, oh, that one exclamation point was about this person from like 10 years ago, but the rest of it was about somebody else. Using the plural version of this one word is about this person from forever ago, but the rest of it is about somebody else. Using, like, a dolphin instead of a squirrel, well, that's about somebody specific from a very long time ago, but the rest of it is about somebody else. When I intentionally, like, mess up something, right? Because in art, sometimes you want to like look like you're like pretending to fail or something, right? At something. I will literally leave like little margin notes, right? Just in like the journal app on my phone. Like I'll literally leave notes where I'm like, I know that this is wrong, but I meant it that way. Leave it exactly the way it is. Like, like in all capital letters, like leave it exactly the way it is. It is good. You're gonna think this is terrible, but it is good. Do it exactly the way that it is. Like it's so funny. But when you put spells into it also, and you're like, okay, I know that this is good, but I know my future self is gonna hate it, like in all capital letters, like I know you're gonna hate this, but you have to do it anyways. That is a really big thing. So I also try, when I try to write a lot of my songs like 3 or 4 days at most ahead of the time that I sing them, because my proximity to hitting that, like I hate them more the more time has passed, like before recording them. But I would also try to not have songs pre-written or like pre-written down on paper until the day of. Like I'll try to have them like 3 or 4 days ahead of time in my journal app, right? But then like the day of is when I write them on actual paper. Because otherwise I start to like go insane, like as if my brain is trying to like calculate the exact everything about this, and I don't even know. And I'm not even trying to do that. I'm not even like aware of it, right? So I definitely try to use writing and spells and songs for money, for a million different purposes. Any small thing that day to day I'm like, oh, I hate this, how can I make this part of my experience better? That's what I really try to like focus energy on. You know, I have entire songs, albums, entire projects. Like, I could write like a 12-track album about like a specific insecurity, but nobody knows what it's about because you would never know. But it's like trying to like dissolve that or work through it is like the purpose of it. Anyway, that's all. I love you guys. Bye.